So, it turns out that I eat a lot of peppers, specifically red bell peppers. And they're kind of expensive. Organic at Whole Foods is $3.99 a pound. And so I've got a lot of green space back here. We've already started a garden plot. I see I need a lot more organic matter, organic material to get that going, but should be throwing seeds soon. Going to do a lot of lettuces and then going to expand and duplicate those plots all over the backyard. But first, we're going to get some red peppers going. So I've got this area here outdoors on my patio, and you can see it's just completely unproductive, not fruit-bearing trees. And I've already started throwing seeds, red pepper seeds, down in one place. They sprout really well. There's a lot of shade, and that's important. You know, the soil doesn't evaporate and moisture doesn't escape too quick so that the seedlings can germinate easily. So what I'm going to do is rip out the rest of these plants along the way here and then cultivate that whole bed and use it mostly just for germinating seeds. So we're going to start with basically removing the plants that are in there, and then we're going to add a base layer of soil, and then we're going to amend it with fertilizers like coffee grinds, food scraps, yard waste and everything else that's been composting. So I'm gonna get started with that right now. And again, so here's your red pepper that you get from the store. That's pretty cool. You know, you eat it, you put it in a sandwich, whatever. And then what you're left with, if you slice it properly, are the seeds. You see, you'll never actually have to buy another red pepper again if you can do this correctly. And so we're gonna get started. I'm gonna try it out myself, see how well it works. I know we already have about a dozen little baby red bell peppers, and we're gonna let those keep going, but then we're gonna do a better job, clear all the plants out of the way here, and then throw way more seeds and get way more plants going. And then eventually this whole little strip here will be all pepper plants, which will be pretty cool to look at too. So I wanted to just zoom in and show what we've already got going here. Now these are red bell peppers. You can see all the yard waste and fallen leaves and debris are all sort of cluttering this area. So hopefully some of these plants will survive. This one definitely will. I did just clear some of the dead leaves out of here as well. But as I move forward with this, clearing out all of these trees and leaves, then actually putting a bed of soil down, grading it, making it level, and then throwing fertilizer on top, i.e. coffee grinds, that should be a perfect plot for sprouting and germinating seeds. And then this way they'll be easy to remove, like when they are at this age, and then transplanted into larger containers. All right, so here we go. Usually when I'm composting, I'll start in my refrigerator. There's always some old and unfinished bag of lettuce and everything else. So instead of throwing that in the landfill, it's always best to just throw it down in your garden. For now, we just got some exclusive green mix here, some baby spinach and arugula. Made it through some of this. Sorry, Mom. And while I'm fighting with that, and also some kale that never got made into kale chips. So what I've done here is gone around and collected some branches from around the backyard, some yard waste basically, and I'm gonna break that up into much smaller pieces and then spread that out on here, and it's going to be additional organic matter. It will continue to break down over time, and it will also help cultivate fungal matter and fungal decomposition, further releasing phosphorus, potassium, and all those other macronutrients that plants love. So again, this is really just a simple way of basically reusing all your yard waste and yard debris, branches, leaves, food scraps, and everything else. It's just a very easy way of composting right above ground and also cultivating your soil simultaneously. And then the benefits of that are, A, you don't have to send all this waste to the landfill, and B, you'll have healthy and nutrient rich soil basically at no financial cost whatsoever, just your time and your labor. But ultimately the fruits of the labor will be highly rewarding. So sometimes when you're trying to rush a little bit and you don't really have any of your own compost, you have to buy topsoil or compost, and then you have to amend it. I always really like this Black Velvet mushroom compost as a base. It's got a little bit of nutrient content. It's really minimal. It's got a minimal amount of nutrient content, but it's very easy to amend, and also it's very inexpensive. I think it's like $3 or $4 a bag. So what we're gonna do is throw this down over all of our branches and leaf matter and everything else, and then begin to start to grade and level our new planters basically. So you can pretty much get these coffee grinds from any local coffee shop. They'd be happy to recycle all of this waste instead of throwing it to the landfill. Typically all you'd have to do is provide some kind of receptacle for them to throw it in. And also, aside from local coffee shops, you could always go to Starbucks. They have a bin up in the front, and you could just take those regularly as needed. You can see there's probably about 15 pounds of coffee in this bucket right now, which is probably more than enough for this small little plot. So we'll work this in, and then we'll throw one more bag of soil, topsoil or mushroom compost on top of this. and then our seeds, and we'll be ready to go. All right, so we're just about done now. We've got the soil down. It's all graded, leveled, and now we're just gonna throw some seeds, water it, and just be patient and wait. And soon this will be a abundant, beautiful little bell pepper patch.